Monday, June 16th at 6 o'clock, and the meeting is being held at 1440 Rochester Road in Addison Township. If we could all stand for the pledge, please. Ed, you're our veteran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let our audience stay standing. We thank you for the opportunity to be in front of you and your representatives for the township. We ask that you give us wisdom as we make decisions. We do these things in your name. Amen.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. Okay. Roll call, please.
Yes, Linda Garrick.
Here.
Ed Brakefield.
Here.
Karen Geibel.
Here.
Mary Frost.
Here.
Mike McDonald.
Here.
Bennett present. Supervisor Pearson.
Here, all accounted for. Any announcements, department reports? Of course, are always available in my office. None?
None.
Okay, petitions? None? Okay, approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Any comments? Not hearing. Could we have roll call on that, please?
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay, move on to consent agenda.
Yes. It's a long one. Approval of April minutes. Approval of the April and the May 2025 invoices. Approval of SEMCOG 2025 dues. Affirm and approve the auditor invoice for the 24-25 fiscal year. Approve the 2025 MTA dues, legal defense fund, and the pass. Affirm and approve the 2025 workers' compensation renewal. And approve the resolution for the 25-26 healthcare benefits that include healthcare, vision, dental with lifelong term, short-term disability insurance.
I'd like to make that motion, but I'd like to add one small thing to the consent agenda. Item D, I'd like to make the motion to approve the consent agenda with item D being specifically $3,000 coming out of account number 206-336-807-000, $3,000 coming out of account 207-301-807-000, $5,000 coming out of account number 101-223-807-000, and $1,000 coming out of account number 101-371-807-000.
Support.
Okay, so we have a motion and we do have support.
I was going to, I
I was
just
worried about that.
And I understand that's to cover all the bills.
Oh,
It makes it so that we don't have to do an adjustment. So, okay, so we have a motion and we have support. Any comments? Not hearing any? Can we have roll call, please?
Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Karen Geibel. Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. Okay. We'll move on to item number 2. Oh, resolution adopting ordinance to the Code of Ordinances. Do I have to read all this? Appendix A, zoning, in the following sections. Article 4, ordinance 25-02, open space, 25-03, water well, septic, wastewater systems. Article 24, ordinance 25-04, sections 24.01B, 24.01C, 24.01H, and 24.01P, and Article 25, Ordinance 25-05, delete. The board authorizes ordinance reviews and recommendations from the Planning Commission for these ordinances. These ordinances are approved by our legal counsel. Linda is our representative. Do you have anything to add on this at all, Linda?
No, I think the planning commission did a great job, looked at this closely, and I think it's the right actions.
Okay, and it's been a long time coming as the Planning Commission went through all the ordinances. Any questions from the board? Not hearing any, okay. I'll just put this, a motion is in order to move the resolution adopting ordinances to the Code of Ordinances, Appendix A, zoning in the following sections, Article 4, Ordinance 25-2, open space, 25-03, water well, septic, wastewater systems, Article 24, Ordinance 25-04, Sections 24.01B, 24.01C, 24.01H, and 24.01P, and Article 25, Ordinance 25-05, delete. That's the motion.
I'll move the yeah, are you making the motion?
Well, I read it all, I might as well make the motion, okay? So somebody else doesn't have to read it again.
I'll support.
Okay.
Thank you, and
For the record,
Okay.
that's the first.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Any discussion? Not hearing any, could we have roll call, please?
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Karen Guybo, Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes. And the motion passes. Okay. Now we're on to item number 3, station seal coating. A recommendation, Independence Asphalt, $12,015 from 213.304.975.000. Okay, the fire chief letter pretty much explains the request, and he solicited 3 estimates, which wasn't easy. It's hard to get bids out now. But anyways, the motion to approve for Station 3, of course, is seal coating recommendation Independence Asphalt, $12,015 from 1213-304-975-000. Anybody have any questions on that? Okay, well, I can make that motion too if you'd like to second
I'll
that one. You don't have to
second it,
read it
Bruce.
again. Okay.
Get
Does
easy.
anybody have any questions? We do have a motion and we have a second. No questions? Roll call on that, please.
Karen Guybo, Mary Frost, Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that motion passes. Don't expect me to read all these, okay? Somebody else is gonna have to step up. Number 4, Lakeville Cemetery Road repairs. We've tried, I tried last fall to get somebody to come out, but I guess everybody is really, really busy. And Pauline got a hold of one person that finally came out, and I guess a couple other people said they'd come out, but it doesn't look like they all did. And anyways, it's very hard, once again, to get 3 estimates. So what we're looking at is repairing the cemetery road. It's eroding away and taking away some of the burial plots so that you can't get to them. So we did get a hold of, I think it was Sotheby's Excavating, and they went out there, looked at it, and they think they can remedy the issue. So first of all, what we're looking for, I think, is, I think we need a motion. Well, we did have 3 bids, so we just need a motion first
We
of all
get-
to
We
authorize
did
it.
not receive 3 bids.
Oh, well,
So
we
that's
tried
why-
to.
Yes, we tried.
We
but didn't
tried.
get 'em. So
I'll make a
I'd like to
motion that we
waive,
waive the
But
purchase.
we need to waive it first.
I'll support.
Okay, so we have Ed that says that motion to waive and you supported. Does anybody have any questions on that part of it? Okay, can we have a roll call on that one?
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Karen Guybo, Ed Brakefield,
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes, Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, okay, so that passes. Now we're on to the actual repair with Sotheby.
I'd like to make a motion to authorize the repair with Sotheby Excavating LLC contingent upon proof of insurance and signed agreement with, and also to include a time frame for the $6,384 from 101-567-975-000.
I do have one question. What is a DAMB?
Doing
I
business
think that
as-
meant DAM, D-A-M.
Where's that at?
There's, I had the same thought, and when I talked to Wayne, He calls it a dam,
Oh,
but it's just gravel or large stone put across
it's
the.
wrap down the thing so that
Yeah,
it catches the
put
debris.
to check the water flow so it won't flow
I
as
gotcha.
fast
So
down.
they're like swales?
Yeah, well, yeah, swale, but it's perpendicular to the flow. It's perpendicular to the flow so that it's within a swale. It's like a ditch.
And they put those little barriers in between?
Exactly.
Slows the water
Exactly.
down.
Yeah.
And they're called dams? Okay, didn't know that.
I'm not sure that's the proper spelling, but I think that was his intent.
Well, it's throughout the whole.
Yeah,
thing, so
yeah.
I didn't know if there
Yeah.
was something I didn't know what it was.
I have a question.
Yes,
Oh, the name Sotheby Excavating, right, does that name sound familiar? Have they done work for the county?
well, the whole town is full of Sotheby's.
They're a
So's a
local
cemetery.
It's
Yes.
from his brother.
Calvin does the,
Lawn
Grass
mowing-
cutting.
Lawn mowing and snow
Okay, I
snow
saw the name
removal.
and I'm like, okay, and
Yeah.
then the next question is, like, have we had to do this before? I mean, are we?
The downpour that we've been getting these last few years are just really eroding this one area away. Previously, our sexton was able to maintain it with the tractor, but it's just not being able to maintain. We have to do something with it.
I'm just wondering if there should be something more done to prevent this
well,
year with more rain, like.
what happened is that the culverts have kind of filled in, so they're not there anymore. So they need to rebuild the culverts back. They need to put those dams in there. And then there's a culvert, then it goes under one of the roads. What happens is that now, because everything's filled in, the gravel is coming right down, filling in the culvert so that the water doesn't go through, goes around it, and then throws all the gravel farther down the cemetery. So now, by fixing it up the hill and putting the valley in, and then coming down and then putting where we can regulate the water to go around so it doesn't go over the road. It is a fix. We've had two people look at it, and that's kind of how they said it has to be fixed. So this is actually quite extensive compared to just putting gravel in there. This is actually designed to fix the problem with the heavy rains and not going where they're supposed to go. So
Hopefully it fixes it for several years.
if you know where it is, it's by Dunn's Tomb. When you get all the way over to the end, and then there's a big slope there at the very end of the cemetery, and it is a difficult area because of the terrain, that it's a steep hill. Anyway, so we did have a motion, but I didn't hear who seconded
I'll
it.
second the motion.
And we have a second.
We need to go, that was just to waive the purchasing ordinance, or was it to move the?
We
I
did,
moved to
we did the
approve.
purchasing ordinance.
So which is fund?
Now that's on for Sotheby.
101-567-975-000 at Cemetery Improvements
Okay, thank you.
And the amount was,
was in the motion 6384.
so we have a motion and we have
I'll second the
and we
motion.
have a second on this one now. Is there any discussion on the price now and having Sotheby do it? Not hearing any. Could we have roll call, please?
Mary Frost,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield,
Yes,
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Karen Geibel, Mike McDonald,
Yes,
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson,
Yes, that motion passes. Okay, we'll move on to number 5, waive the purchasing ordinance for competitive bids and approval for 21,148 to Steel Solutions for, from 207-301-934-000. And that's, for the sheriff's department. In the sheriff's office, the locker rooms have lockers. They're not very secure, they're very cheap ones. All of the other substations have upgraded to more secure ones. The sheriff's department has many more high-powered type weapons and stuff like that that need to be secured better. I'm very familiar with these lockers, and the lockers that we have right now, you can actually, the hinges are on the outside, and you can pop the pins off of them and get into them, which is
How long
not
has it been since we?
Pardon?
How long has it been since we?
10 years.
It's been 10 years? years?
10 years, but everybody's moved because they have now obtained more high-powered weaponry and stuff that needs to be secure. And I did go in there and look. Anyways, this is Steel Solutions. It's a one vendor. All of the stations use this one. They absolutely do need it.
I'll move
So-
to waive the purchasing ordinance has no benefit in advertising.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions on waiving the purchasing order because it's a one vendor? Could we have roll call on that, please?
Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Karen Geibel. Mary Frost. Ed Brakefield.
Yes,
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, that passes. Now what we're on to is a motion for the 21-148 to Steel Solutions for the,
So moved.
I'll second.
okay, so moves us.
You already read it
We
once.
didn't want you to read
Any-
it. You make the motion, forget it.
Any, any comment? Not hearing any. Can we have a roll call, please?
This does include installation. so
Yes.
That's one of the reasons it's higher.
Yeah.
Than what we normally see.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Karen Geibel. Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Move on to item number 6. Auditor agreement dated June 3rd, 2025 for 3 years at $13,500 with the 2-year options at $14,000. We asked our auditor to give us a term of engagement so we could appropriately budget for the next few years. We're pretty pleased, of course, with Raina. She does an excellent job. She's maintained that 10,500 since 2005. So I think it is time that, of course, she's got to increase her fee a little bit. So what I'm looking for is a motion to approve the audit agreement dated June 3rd, 2025 for 3 years at $13,500 with a 2-year option at $14,000.
Make that motion.
Second.
Okay,
The actual agreement, or do we have to have something reviewed by?
the actual,
This is all our auditor will submit.
We would enter into a contract. I'm just curious.
I've tried.
There's a reason why this is as low as it is. You know, in the village of Leonard, we paid more than this for our audits.
Raina,
That's
so-
a contract.
Yeah.
That's weird for a professional, but okay.
yeah, that's why we get such a good price. Okay, anyways, so we do have a motion and a second. Any other further discussion? Roll call.
I'm just curious, so with the auditors, we don't have like RFPs or anything like that where we go out for bids or,
Well, we could.
I'm just saying, do we have to waive a purchasing ordinance or?
No, because she's already working with us. She's been with us all these years. She does just about everything. I think she does the Pollyant Trail. and
There's an
she does,
exception in our ordinance for professional service, like auditors or legal or planners. We tend to do it for the planners though, just so that we can get a fair shake, but we don't have to for this one.
That answers my
These
question.
prices are, yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
so
yeah, so just so you know, she's,
we have a motion and.
and a second.
so-
Any other discussion? Nothing? Roll call, please.
Karen Geibel. Mary Frost.
Yes.
Linda Garrick.
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes,
Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that motion passes. Okay, now. What are we on, number 7? Civic Plus Agreement. This one's real confusing to me, and I know Pauline knows more about it. This is about the codification purposes. This is about twice a year or doing it more, 4 times a year, or the price has gone up. And it's about if you get a subscription. So I'm going to let Pauline explain this one.
Yes, his estimates were confusing to me, so I went ahead and broke it down into 2 options. Both options, I truly feel, and I included it in your board pack, adopted ordinance not yet codified. we don't subscribe to this at all. I think this one, no matter which option we decide to go with, we should include, because especially if we're only doing it twice a year, I think it's important that people see that these have been adopted, since we do have a website. So with that said, option one is currently what we have. We pay a $900 fee for them to host. They codify our ordinances only twice a year. And what he was trying to show is that currently we're at $18 a page, and their increase come July is going to be $23.40 a page. So then he went ahead and he did for 3 years. So I went ahead and gave the example that in 2024, at $23.40 a page, our expenditure with the company would be $3,092.75. The subscription rate, we pay a flat rate. They will not cover if we went in and redid all of our ordinances, but they'll cover the majority of our ordinances for this flat rate. He will throw in the ordinance and not codified yet, starting at $250 a year instead of the $375. And with that one, we would pay $25.04. So of course, we're all saying, oh, wow, we're going to save money. But that's because we had a lot of ordinances that went through. We're also going to have a lot of ordinances this year in 2025. We will save money in 2025. Next year, if we don't have ordinances, we'll still be paying the $25.04, and there might not be a saving. So that's why I'm really trying to bring it to you guys to decide, do we want to do a subscription so that we budget our money every year for this amount and be done with it, or do we want to gamble and pay the per page? The other benefit for the number two, with the annual supplement service, he will update our ordinances 4 times a year. So it will go 4 instead of 2. And also they're already planning increases, 5% increase every year if we stay with what we're doing. And he went down to 3% a year if we go with a subscription. So they're really pushing the subscription.
My thoughts are we go with the subscription, because I think there's probably gonna be more things coming from the planning commission.
We still have 3 more ordinance, plus the ones that we just adopted. I'm gonna sit on them until,
Well, when you codify
time.
them, I mean, they go through and they put all that stuff in there, and it's a big project, I get it. But I mean.
but
how
like
long
next year,
is-
we might not have
How
that
long
many.
is this good for? So
1 year.
Just 1 year, so next year we would have to do it again.
Typically with these, it's a continuation, just like with BSNA, we don't do it every year.
But we could change it after a year if we want.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're gonna change that soon, because I asked that same question.
Oh,
So I'm sure that after a year or two, it's gonna be in there that you have to stay, but anyways,
What's your recommendation, Pauline, since you handle a lot of this?
I think this year we're going to save a lot of money, because all of these ordinances we just adopted are gonna end up going at that $23 a page. So this year, no doubt. The election years, or years that we don't really have time to focus on ordinances, it might not be that way. So that's why I'm just trying to share with you that, yeah, we're gonna save a lot this year. Might not be the same next year.
So what's your recommendation?
Probably to go with a subscription.
Doesn't the subscription, having the quarterly updates, means that when we make changes, they hit the system faster and the public can see them at that?
Yeah, so it'll
at
actually
that
be
point?
codified. And then he's going to throw this one in for $250 versus the $375. And our annual increase is only going to be 3%. So I think it's a better bargain, but I just wanted the board to be aware that the years that we don't do a whole lot of ordinances, it might not be that much of a cost savings.
I'd like to make a motion that we subscribe to the annual supplement services. And there's a thought behind that. We've got a lot of ordinances coming right now. If we looked at it, that we could transfer those ordinances to next year we would still make money doing it this way because it would just save us a lot of money just going to subscription. And even over a long run, it would save us money.
Anybody feel the same way? That would be like a second.
Second.
We have a second. Okay. You just want to wake everybody up. Okay. Okay, so we have a motion and we have a second. Any other discussion on this?
Just so that I'm clear, the price difference of the two is the 1573 and the 2500.
It's about $550, I think.
Based on that 1 year that I used, 2024. So I took the 2024 total of pages and I did the math on it. So based on that year, we would save $500.
I'm still confused. I was looking at two bold numbers, and I'm just curious what, I'm trying to understand. These were the options that you typed out, right? So I'm just curious, like, this 1572.75.
So right now, we're at 1188. That's with the 288 and the $900 fee comes to 1188. No matter which way we go, we should do the custom order bank, which is 385 unless we do subscription. So the subtotal was 1573. And then if you take the 2340 per page from 2024, it would come to 3092. Whereas a subscription, he's going to charge us $1604.75. It includes the $250 for the where'd it go? The posting the ordinance not codified, and then you have to add the $900 annual subscription fee that's not included in either one, so that comes to $2504.
So at the most, after the first year, you're only getting 3% on top of the 2504.
Correct. Whereas the other one, we're going to get 5%.
So, yeah, okay. I just need to wrap my head around the numbers, not enough.
It took me a while on this one. It's like there's too many.
So we do have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Not hearing any. Could we have roll call, please?
Mary Frost,
Oh,
Mary?
I'm sorry, yes.
you're fine.
That's you.
I was still looking at this.
See, she's looking at the numbers like me.
Yes.
Okay.
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Karen Guyval, Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Mike McDonald,
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. We'll move on to item number 8 now, which is a resolution authorizing the 2025 L4029 millage rates with the special assessment districts. This is the annual approval of the millage rates and the confirmation of all the SADs within the township. Anybody, first of all, have any questions what we're talking about, the special assessment districts? Okay, so what I'm looking for is a motion to move a resolution authorizing the 2025 L4029 millage rates with the special assessment districts.
I'll move the resolution.
I'll support.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussions? Not hearing any. Can we have roll call on that, please?
Linda Garrick,
Yes.
Ed Brakefield.
Yes.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Karen Guyval. Mike McDonald.
Yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Move on to item number 9 now. Waive purchasing ordinance and authorize the clerk to solicit vendors for the playground equipment design price and bring this all back to the board. I'm about to sneeze here, so just hold on a minute. We have an estimate that is over 5 years old and created by landscape engineering equipment and is costly, and we all know that. We will continue to budget for the purchase of the playground equipment, but in the meantime, if we had a current estimate, we could apply for grants or a very low interest loan. First of all, is there any questions on that? Okay, so we're just looking at going and get moving on getting some bids and stuff for the playground. What I'd like is a motion to waive the purchasing ordinance as a professional service, and so it doesn't limit contractors, so that we can just go out and start bidding on this. Pauline has already started on this, talking to the different vendors, and there's so many variables out there, but we'd like to get started on it. So that's
Okay,
what I'm
just
looking for
Be clear,
first.
if we waive the purchasing ordinance, that would give Pauline the authority, if she gets the low bid, to just buy it.
No, it comes
No,
back
it's
to
coming
Still
back
has
to
to come
you.
back to us.
What I'm envisioning is I have 3 names already, so I want to contact those 3. I'm hoping that based on, like, I have a book of different designs, so I kind of want to give them an idea of maybe what we would like. They're the professionals. I would like them to design it, and then those who want to participate are going to hopefully make a really nice design, bring it back to the board with an estimate and the design, and all of us decide which one we want. And then that'll be the one that I can use to apply for grants and use it for at least 2 years to try to raise the money to achieve that goal.
And why are we waiving it now? Wouldn't we waive it when they're here and let you,
Because if I start contacting them and they start giving us prices, it's kind of known then.
okay, it's
So
not
it's
like a
like,
sealed bid, it's just you know the prices.
yeah, so it's necessary to waive before I start making too many contacts, because those that would give me a price, then their bid is known.
Okay, I'll make that motion. We waive the ordinance, allow this playground stuff.
Did we have support? And we have support from Karen. Any other comments on that part of it? Yes.
I just wanted to say that it's maybe not as obvious as it seems, but the playground manufacturers, they all have their own designs, and it's pretty hard to compare apples and oranges and make them look the same. You have a functional category of swings, things like that, but to try and compare the different manufacturers' products and then say which one is cheaper, which one's best, it's more in the eye of the township what design we like and what looks good to us. And we can't go with that design somewhere else because either it's not available, the items themselves are not available, or they're different. So I think
Yeah.
Pauline is correct in saying that we need to waive that so that we can talk earnestly with the providers.
And not all of them have a hammock for the supervisor's afternoon nap. Just so you-
say, I remember those sets, I'll say it for Kmart's, that were real flimsy. versus,
Yeah.
some-
So
They said they knew a huge balls.
did we waive the purchase? We already did
Yeah.
that, right? So now we're on to a motion to authorize the clerk to solicit vendors on the playground equipment design price and bring that back to the board for selection. They are all different. If you look at these, there's no rhyme or reason. Everybody's got their own design and nothing is, it isn't like you just buy one set and you just have to look for that one set through different people. They make everything's a different design, so it's whatever we decide.
I think we have to vote on the waiver, don't we?
Did we vote on the waiver or not? Okay, first, let's vote on that then. Roll call on that.
Linda Garrick,
Yes,
Ed Brightfield.
Yeah.
Mary Frost.
Yes.
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
Yes,
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and now the second one is to allow the clerk to go out and solicit.
Since I questioned it so much, I will make that motion. We'll have the clerk do it.
And we have support. Any other comments? Do we have roll call on that part?
Mary Frost. Linda Garrick.
yes,
Karen Geibel.
Yes.
Ed Brightfield.
Yes.
Mike McDonald.
yes.
Bennett, yes. Supervisor Pearson.
Yes, and that passes. Okay, we'll move on to item number 10, appointment of the Planning Commission representative to the ZBA. I spoke with Mark Smith and, he's very well versed in this. He's been around a long time. His father, of course, was the representative between the planning and the ZBA and Mark. I've asked him before on many occasions, and he was really, really busy, but now he said he has time that he could do that. So I'd like to appoint Mark Smith to be the representative between both boards.
I move to approve Mark Smith as a member to the Zoning Board of Appeals as representative from the Planning Commission.
I am happy to second it.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. No, any comments? All I need is a yay, if everybody's in agreement with that. Yay?
Yay.
Aye, yay. Anybody opposed? Okay, that's done then. Thank you very much. I know he'll be a great asset. Okay, where are we at now?
Notes on it, didn't you?
On the next page.
Just added
We're gonna put
something
it
in.
right here. Okay, now we're on to
Just the
public
numbers.
forum. Anybody in the public would like to speak? I'll ask one more time. Anybody in the public would like to speak? Not hearing any. We will then move on to Addison Township Board reports. Anybody on any of the boards or any of the different committees have anything to add? Mr. McDonald?
Just a quick update, in NODA, there's a new intergovernmental agreement in the works, and the work on that continues. We should see that before the end of the year. The Pollyant Trail is working on the master plan. They've asked Addison Township for a map with as yet to be specified contents on it. But that'll be happening this year as well. And then material management, they've canceled the last two meetings. There is now a new meeting scheduled later in June, so that's where that is at this time.
Yeah, and I got a notice of public meeting for that meeting. So I think we already have it out there. But I just want to let you
Right.
know that it's June 24th.
Okay, anybody else? Anything at the cable? Nothing? They're happy now?
Oh, yeah, well, they're happy, but they're just still following it house bills.
Okay, very good. Well, then we'll move on. We'll go on to any legal reports or communications?
Nope.
Supervisor report, real quick. We did have power outage, and I did find out it was because of trees. We had a big wind blast that came in, and one tree can knock out 90 people.
That was a big blast.
Yeah, and came right through, and then, of course, I mean, the trees, they have done a good job at trimming them, but once in a while, there's one that, they can only go back so far on people's property anyhow. So anyways, and it was fixed within, by 2 o'clock that afternoon, it was fixed, so that was good. Marine Division, on Lakeville Lake, we always used to collect money. The residents would collect money on Lakeville Lake to fund the Marine Division. I contacted their representative, and at this time, they said they had no action on this. I will state that I've told them that the Marine Division is always available. There's a boat. They have a jump boat that goes from lake to lake to lake, and so if they need any Marine Division, they can immediately call and they'll bring a jump boat out that can handle whatever. Also, our deputies are trained if they need them. It's a lake. People, if something happens, they can commandeer a boat on the lake and then call for assistance. And if there's something that goes on the lake, the people still have to get off the lake, so the deputies be waiting for them when they get off the lake. So Mr. McDonald was there with me when we asked because, we wanted to get a contract signed because only the township can sign the contract. And we were told that they have no plans for any action this year. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. And I'm fine with that because none of the other lakes have them either. There's only one other lake, I think, is Wixom Lake, who contracts. And Lake Orion still does it with the residents contributing. But Wixom's the only one that the city actually pays. So there, and there's hundreds of lakes in Oakland County, and it's all by volunteer. So anyways, other than that, what I'm looking for is an adjournment.
I'll make that motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? No, we're all set. Next meeting, July 21st.